Okay, so I'm going to show you how to remove the side panel of the Fhiaba refrigerator. There's a couple little subtle things that we'll have to do in order to gain access to this. In this case, we're going to remove the top glass. The glass might look a little different on the unit you're working on. They've since gone to a plastic frame on the glass, which is much easier to remove, but you just simply lift that and rotate it. And in this case, you don't necessarily have to remove this side rail in order to release this panel because of the design, but I always do it. It's good practice to remove this side rail. It makes it a lot easier to gain access to this panel. So first thing we're going to do is get the shelves out of the way. So roll them up. So you lift at the front, and sometimes there might be a lock pin at the back that you have to unscrew. Roll them up and out, and when you put them back in, you just got to make sure that you're putting them back in level, because it is possible to put them in a little bit of a cockeye. First thing we'll do is we'll remove that back rail. So I use a screwdriver like this, slip it down inside that rail, and pull it forward. This one may be a little bit too long. So let me just use my power driver. That is also a little too long. So essentially what I've done is I just put something. Might need a little shorter screwdriver. You can just slip it down inside there, right? And then pull straight forward. And it's just a force fit that snaps over the side rail. And so now there are 4 screw points. Sometimes they only use 3, but it's a small. So you're going to want to use like a number 1 Phillips, a nice good point on it in order to get to the screw. So we'll unscrew that. Have a screw at the bottom of this one. Often that bottom screw is going to be larger, and they use it as a stop for the shelves so they don't bottom out. But the other 3 screws will be small ones, some little taper-headed screws. I don't like using the power driver because it might mark up the side wall. Here we go. So I was able to remove the side rail. And here I'll pop one of these screws out and show you what it looks like. So this is the little taper-headed screw. There's 3 of those. And then there's just one of the standard screws in there, and that's what they use to kind of stop the shelf at the bottom, keep it from bottoming out. So now we've got that off. I will use my power driver to get the rest off. So we got to take off the little holder here on the older models. The newer models that have the plastic holder, you may or may not have to take off the mount in order to gain access, but we'll do it. So 2 screws here. That takes the hanger bracket off for the top glass. And then there's 4 screws holding in the fan mount, 2 on the ceiling that you just need to back off. You don't need to take them out all the way, but you do need to take the front and back screws out all the way. And then you can slide this fan bracket forward. And there's little wire clips and wire catches that are mounted on the wall. That's a quick connect on the fan bracket, so you just give that a squeeze and disconnect it and get it out of the way. And now we have full, complete access to the evaporator cover, and that is just hung on some screws front and back. So you basically pull it up, lift it up, and then pull it straight away out. And so you can see there's the profile of how it hangs on the screws that are mounted on the wall. And so putting it back on is basically the opposite. You slide it on and then drop it down. And then you have full access to the evaporator, quick connects for the fan, red for the fan, black for the evaporator sensor, and white connector for the air temperature sensor, which is up here. And the evaporator sensor is down here, stuffed into the fins. See if I can pop that one out. Show you. Yeah, here's the evaporator sensor there. So that's how you gain access to the fresh fruit evaporator. Thanks for watching.